Hello and welcome to the second Chakra Vision podcast. Today I have Gurpage Ghola with me, who is frozen at the moment. Damn, man got
Mate,
frozen.
I'm back. I'm here. Not a great start, but I'm here.
Yeah, so we got Gurpage Ghola with us today. And
I,
oh man, it's been a long day.
mate,
We wanted
we got a pretty deep topic to do, but mate, I'm on it. This is why I'm here.
This is it, mate. Honestly, when did we plan this, bro? Like an hour ago.
Mate, literally, you were like, let's do it. I was like, calm.
Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking get at it. So the topic for today, we wanted to cover up, it's quite sensitive and it's very personal. And it's about, what is it about, Gurpage? You tell them.
Well, I think, like, obviously I'm speaking for myself, but I think us and a lot of people would relate is social anxiety. Like, I feel like everyone, even if they don't like realize it, has felt it at some point in their life. Because I mean, for the longest time, I didn't even realize it was a thing, but I was feeling it. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And I think you said something which is so bang on point, that it's very different for each individual. Like, everyone's like goes through it in their own ways. So we can only speak for, throughout this whole podcast, we will only be speaking from our experience.
Exactly.
And that's the way of we are going to be expressing.
No one's experience with it is going to be the same, or wrong or right. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all are going to experience what we feel, and hopefully some of you guys listening will be able to relate to what we're talking about.
100%. And that is the goal. I did a quick poll on Instagram earlier on, and within 30 minutes of that, we talked about this. Within 30 minutes, I had 64 people saying that we should do a social anxiety podcast. So it's a topic that people want to hear. So I mean, have you suffered from social anxiety, Gurpage?
I mean, the best, anxiety in general. Like, it's been my best mate.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's not like a good thing. Like, I joke about it, but like, I feel like anxiety in general is kind of like you call it your mate because it's always there. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you, like, everyone will experience it differently, and obviously I've had deeper like problem with it. But I mean, social anxiety probably started for me like probably like secondary school. I feel like once you like start secondary school, for me, once I started, you become more self-conscious about like how you present yourself, because you want to make friends, so you want to be presented in the best way. Like they always say, like, you never get a second chance at a first impression. Exactly. I feel like that phrase right there, it kickstarts social anxiety. Like, that phrase right there shows you that if you, like, us as a society, if you're not giving yourself the like showing yourself in the perfect way, someone might not like you. And I think that's literally sets you up for being anxious about social situations.
100%. I think, again, you've just hit the nail on the head. It's because it's the same for me. How it started for me, it wasn't quite in secondary school for me. I would say it was during that summer before, when you leave secondary and then you're about to join college.
Oh yeah.
That summer did me dirty. I think it was that summer which somewhere in my head sparked something which was, I think it was already in me
there, but you just didn't realize it. I think that's what I'm also trying to say. Like, in secondary school, it probably wasn't that bad because obviously you're a bit naive when you're younger, so you don't really think about it. But I think it always, just as like, say, like a normal problem, it's just there, but you don't see it. So like making good impressions, or just like, when you walk into class for the first time and you're like, you get that feeling like, I don't want to be late because I don't want everyone to look at me. That is like a simple example of it, because if you didn't have that, you wouldn't be anxious about being in that situation. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's the eyes when you walk into a room.
It's the eyes, exactly.
It's the eyes, and
eyes looks to kill me.
Trust me, man. And thinking about this, remember the law lessons back when I survived about 3 lessons, but
mate, honestly, I didn't even know you. That's so jokes. Just to like divert for a second. That was the first time I ever met you, and who knew we were going to be like good mates?
But mate, what, 4 years on?
Lessons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 years on now. But mate, I would say that, you know, I was going through social anxiety then as well. When I walked into that
Yeah.
room, there is no better environment that would explain social
Yeah. When you
anxiety
walk in
to me.
and yeah,
Yeah.
it is literally like walking in and those eyes. That's it.
Mm.
Like that is it.
It's the eyes, it's the judgmental eyes. Or at least you think they are judgmental. So you know,
Yeah,
they're
yeah, exactly, exactly. Because realistically, no one really cares. Like not gonna lie, when someone else walks into the room late, I don't
yeah,
really care. I'm just like, oh, I wonder why he's late. That's probably the only
yeah,
thought that's going through my head. Or
yeah.
I wonder why she's late, he's late, or whoever. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly. No one gives a fuck, bro. Like we just think we're so important. Like, you know what I mean? We just think
Exactly,
everyone's, you know,
exactly.
um, and I
Life
think
revolves around you, doesn't it?
exactly, mate. And I think that's what but I also feel like for me personally,
Hmm.
social anxiety, was heightened because of my social media usage. Now I
Yeah,
say
yeah,
this because like, you know, obviously this is going to be a deep podcast, so I'm going to open myself up. If you're
yeah,
listening, there will probably be things that I have never told you, no matter how well I know you, and I'm going to be
yeah,
talking about it now.
exactly.
Um, but you know, there are things you feel at that age, and there are things that social media makes you feel, and it makes you think in a certain way where you start comparing yourself to others.
Yeah,
um
that's it. Comparing is the correct word.
yeah, go on, you lead from here. So comparing, I mean,
Yeah,
is that something you
it,
did
it
as well?
literally is. Yeah, yeah. I feel like everyone does do it to a certain extent. Some people might be worse than others, but like, I guess you do because, like, obviously, when we were like say year 7, year 8, Instagram and all that wasn't really popular. Like back then, people didn't really post, didn't really do stuff. But like
Mm,
nowadays, you see like influencers, you have shows like Love Island, like all that like
yeah.
stuff, which is then once that show finishes, where do those people go? They're on Instagram, they're on
Mm,
Snapchat, they're showing off how they look, who they are. So you can't help but being like, look, they've got famous because they look good. Like,
yeah,
how are you not supposed to
yeah,
compare yourself to that?
100%. So again, we can blame I don't know if we can blame the society, but it's like what we are surrounded by on a day-to-day basis. So like you said, shows like Love Island, which make you
Yeah,
feel a certain way about yourself, um and you know, just things like that. And on Instagram, you've got those influencers, and you go on their page, and you know, back in the day, I used to see it, and I used to be like, yo, like this man's got 10K followers. You know,
yeah,
he doesn't
trust.
even post anything, bro. You know, it's like a post a month, and this man has 10K followers.
Yeah,
I'm out here
but
grinding.
it's
Like,
looking good, isn't it? That's why.
that's it. That's it. He just, but again, there you go. That's comparing right there. Again,
Exactly.
but
We
he's
just did it.
looking
We
good.
both just did it,
Yeah,
and we agreed.
yeah,
That's just how deep it goes. Like we
yeah.
agreed on it.
It's yeah, 100%, man. And I
But what? Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I thought that just popped into my head. Like even before this, like say you go onto Google, say if you're feeling like that, yeah, and you typed in like social anxiety, the first thing that it comes up with, yeah, is mental disorder. Why does that have to be a disorder? That's one thing that really annoys me because
Mm,
I feel like everyone goes through that and it doesn't like I think stigmas like that making it into a disorder and oh it's a bad like it makes it seem like a bad thing, but I feel like everyone will go through it and that's
yeah,
just like how like your mind will not always feel happy, your mind will not always feel sad, and I feel like anxiety and stuff like that is a part of it, as is
yeah,
social anxiety. You might get it worse in some situations, you might not get it at all in others.
yeah,
So like terms like disorder and stuff like that, it's I don't like it
yeah.
because it puts a stigma on it. Do you know what I mean? And
100%.
it's
It's like,
exactly why we have to pull this podcast deep. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, 100%. We can't just touch about it. You know, we can't just touch the upper layers of the problem. We need to open ourselves up so people can relate. Um, and yeah, I mean, you're right. It's 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 very sensitive, but there are so many people who go through it, and um when you are going through something like social anxiety, it's not, I feel like, well, I felt like
Yeah.
it wasn't right for me to tell people about it. Now that's one of the biggest now I think back, I'm like, yo, why the fuck was I doing that? Like, you know, why wasn't I
Yeah.
like asking people, why wasn't I talking to people and asking why I feel this way?
Yeah.
um I don't know, maybe it's because it's in my head. I don't know
Yeah.
if you felt the same way as like, you know, you can't talk to anyone about it.
I think for me, I think I know it's weird, but I didn't even like. I don't know if it is for other people, but not gonna lie, like you hear about these terms and you hear what they are, but like you don't really get taught about it that much. I won't like obviously schools and stuff now do try to teach you, and it's becoming like a lot more aware, which is good. But I think back when I was even in college, I didn't even really know what anxiety was. I feel like I
Mm,
was feeling it, but I just termed those as I'm nervous for an exam or I'm
yeah.
nervous for this. It was always nervous. I'm nervous
Mm,
or I feel scared. It was never I'm anxious because I did
yeah,
not know what that word even was. I just thought
exactly.
people who have like a disorder or have it really bad have that, and I'm just
Yeah,
nervous. Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? So
It's
I
like, you
feel
know, you
like
don't,
yeah,
yeah, like, you know, you don't want to say, you know, you don't want to tell
yeah,
yourself that you have anxiety. You don't, it's just
exactly,
not something you want, because people going back to the bad stigma, that's what it has. It's got a bad stigma attached to it, so people
exactly.
don't want to be want to accept that. But it is so normal for people to be
It,
anxious, because it's for survival. You know, as
mm,
humans,
mm,
we need
mm,
anxiety. We need to be anxious about situations so we can
exactly.
be alert. Um, it's just, and you know, that's you know, when that goes overboard, I think that's when problems start. But then at the same time, you can't blame individuals for it. Like my
Y-
anxiety, it began during, like, you know, as I said, in that summer, because I was anxious about actually going to college. um and
Yeah,
obviously, big up, I failed all my GCSEs, so I had to redo a year. So I knew like I wouldn't be with my mates during that time. And I think that's why the anxiety started, because I knew like everyone that I'm gonna have to be around are gonna be new people. So I'm thinking,
that
yo, how do I present myself now?
there you
You
go.
know,
There
like,
you
who is
go.
Suhev? Like, who is Suhev? What do I do? What do I say? Like, are they gonna like me? Are they not? Um, you know, shit like that. That's how it's, you know, that's how it started for me. Um, so you said your route was in secondary school. Like, you know, were there any triggers that would, you know, send it off, or?
Not really. I think it was more the in secondary school anyway. It was more the just going into a new situation and making new friends. I think that was it. But I think when it did really start was um, college, because when you go to college, that's when you can show your identity, because that's when you wear your clothes. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? Because obviously, when you have your clothes and stuff, when you're that age as well, it becomes more a part of you to show you who you are to other
mm,
people. So,
yeah,
like, I don't know if it was for you, but how many clothes did you buy in like first year college? Because I bought bare, fam.
yeah. I know
I
you
bought
did. I know you did.
bare clothes, because not only because I was into it, but just because there was an underlying feeling that I always needed something new to
Yeah,
look good. Do
yeah.
you know
Look
what I
fresh,
mean?
100%.
Exactly,
Look fresh.
exactly.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really have that in terms of clothes, but I had that
Yeah,
in terms of my mentality, and I think that's
yeah,
where
I
I
get
was
you.
stuck. So like, having that instead of thinking that I need clothes to, like, you know, look fresh, I was like, yo, like, I need to do certain things on a daily basis to I need to act a certain way um to feel like I'm in myself. I think that was the biggest problem for me during college. And obviously, hundreds of new people you meet,
Oh
new
yeah, of course,
teachers,
mate.
new environment, the freedom you get. You're allowed to do what you want when you want.
I
You
think
know,
that is a big thing.
exactly. And with that came more anxiety, you know, like that's when I started smoking.
Oh,
um
trust,
yeah, and then came along the green stuff. um
trust me, mate. You were doing that long before that, anyway, mate.
okay, yo, we don't need to give too much away, bro. um but yeah, I mean,
Nah, I get you. I get you.
yeah, you know, and that made it worse, I would say.
Oh,
Marijuana
of
for
course,
me,
hundred
oh
percent.
my days, bro.
Agreed, agreed. It makes anxiety on its own. Not saying like it has many good uses and obviously it's calm, but like for me, anxiety the difference is, yeah, because they don't make it legal here, yeah. Like they are now with CBD and stuff. But
Mm,
the difference was if you wanted to chill out with a zoo, you just get what you're given. You don't know what crow they're giving you. You don't know what
100%.
weed they're giving you. You're just
Yeah.
smoking what you get. So you don't know what effect, like they're telling you it's this name. It could be anything. It could be grown in some guy Dave's back garden and you just got it. Do you know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
could, like you're thinking, I'm going to have this suit to chill out when really it could make your anxiety 10 times worse. Do you
Worse.
know what I mean? Which it
100%.
did to me. Like it was always 50-50. I could have it and I could be calm. I could have it and I could just feel on edge.
Yeah.
Like I remember we used to talk about this where we used to like say like I don't know about for you, but for me, like say if I bunned before college or something like
Mm,
that, and then I went into like the cafeteria and
mm.
just you just have a bad zoo and then you just feel paranoid. Do you know
Oh,
what I
mate.
mean?
Oh,
That's how
yes.
easy it is to set off not
Yeah.
even social anxiety, but just it in general.
Yeah. That's it. And back then, mate, I think the mistake I made personally is I just suppressed that feeling, mate. I just thought this is
Oh,
something that
same.
happens when you come
So,
to that certain environment. And I was
mate,
like,
that's what we tell each other.
that's
Everyone's
it.
like, "Nah, you're calm. Just bun a bit more," because
More.
we don't
Yeah.
know any better. We just
Yeah.
think we enjoy smoking, so we're just gonna do
We're
it.
just
Do you
gonna
know what
do
I
it,
mean?
and don't
Whereas
go to
now we
those.
know.
Yeah, and don't go to those environments. It's like
Mm,
you run
mm,
away from environments where a lot of people are because you know you're gonna scat out or you're gonna feel a
exactly.
certain way. So what do? You go to a room where there's a fat screen and a computer, and
And
you
you
start
watch YouTube
watching.
videos on for an
Yeah,
hour,
mate,
and you
YouTube
miss your
videos.
lesson, and that's
Mate,
just what happens.
that's it exactly. And college, obviously, a lot of it for me was in terms of trying to fit in as well. So that's just social
Yeah,
anxiety came around that way. So wanting to fit in and wanting to be liked by everyone. Um, and in that, you just kind of lose yourself because you run after what other people want from you. I found.
exactly.
Um, and we've had multiple conversations about how we felt and how we have been
We did
feeling in the past years and how marijuana
exactly.
and stuff have been affecting us.
Mm.
Because I feel like the whole reason I started smoking weed was because my friends were doing it.
Oh yeah, of
You know
course,
what I
mate.
mean? It
For
was my friends who were doing it, so I'm just
go
like,
to a
yo,
party,
yeah, it's
and there you
100
go.
yeah. Go to a party, you've got a bunch of drinkers and you got a bunch of smokers.
And then your friends group is split,
Yeah,
and like as soon as you get a couple of tinnies in you, you get a few beers in you, a few vodkas in you, you're gonna be like, might as well.
might as well. That's it. And then, but you don't
That's where
see
it starts.
how it's affecting what you already have, which is social anxiety. Um,
Exactly, exactly.
but I mean, turning away from these bad things that we do, you know,
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone who's
exactly.
listening doesn't smoke weed and,
Yeah, yeah,
hasn't
yeah, yeah,
smoked and
yeah. Of
hasn't
course,
drank.
of course.
But for people who haven't been influenced by, drugs in any way when it comes to their anxiety, how do you think, like, dealing with it, like on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah,
how would you deal with it? Let's say you don't smoke or you're not high
yeah,
today,
yeah.
you haven't
Or
drank
like,
or
yeah,
anything.
like just any other day. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, how would you deal with it, like, back then?
yeah. I don't really know. Like, I guess it's hard to know because, to be honest, it's like as simple as you could walk down the street and some randomer could look at you, and you
Mm,
could just like look down and think, "Why are they looking at me?" Do you know what I mean?
mm,
I think it can even start with that. Whereas you need to stop. Like, for me anyway, I tried to stop like almost pleasing others because I feel
yeah.
like when you have social anxiety, you start getting into the mindset of pleasing others, like wearing stuff to please others, doing stuff
Mm,
to please others, doing stuff to fit in. And I think it was what I had to learn the hard way was getting out of that.
yeah.
Well, getting out of that cycle of doing what other people want or doing what I think other people might think is good or cool, and just
Mm,
doing what I want to do. And
yeah.
I think that takes just maturing to learn. Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
I don't think it's a problem, like a deep problem, because I feel like we all been through it to a certain extent. But I think obviously the earlier you learn that, the better it is.
The
But I
better
think
it is.
personally, that's what I had to like understand, that at some point you're gonna have to be like, forget everyone else
Yeah.
and just do you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even expanding on that, I feel like out of anyone, like you probably saw my social anxiety go from Mr. Quiet to Mr. in the limelight over like 2 years.
Bro, I saw
I
that
think
shit
like
over
you can watch
months, man.
you literally watched me go from caring what everyone else thought to literally not caring at all
At all. Yeah, 100%, mate. You know,
in that time.
and that
Literally when
was,
it happened.
yeah, that was it. And during that time, you know, yeah, you know, we've talked about this before as well. How you
We
went from
have.
being quiet to, like, you know, just being out there, and not giving a fuck about what people think about you, what people say about you.
Exactly. Well, I want anyone who knows GURPS in it, trust.
Yeah, trust, man. No names right now, but we know, you know, if you're listening, you know who you are. You've been through
Yeah,
you've been through it with
trust.
us. Um, but I mean, yeah, those years, those college years were,
They were
there
big
was
for like
something.
you never realize it, but they were big for just you developing as a person.
100%,
You
100%.
know what I mean? Like you develop a lot from like the moment I walked in to the moment I walked out. I wasn't completely different, but I was just more happy with who I was. And I know
Yeah,
not everyone would have felt like that, but
yeah,
I'm thankful that I did. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Of course. I mean, we found our way, but there are people who haven't, you know, and
Yeah.
there are people, you know, I know, like, okay, so I was talking to someone a week ago. I won't say any names, but
Yeah, of
I
course.
was talking to them, and they were saying how they they can't get themselves together to do something they love because
Yeah.
they are scared of what other people think about them. um and I just feel like that's such a huge, like, issue
I
that
think,
isn't talked
yeah.
about.
Even I
um
still feel like that
yeah,
sometimes. I feel like you still feel like that.
100%, man. Like, you know, of course, like, you know, you can, it's just such a, doing something different, um and thinking what other people will think about you, like, you know, it's like, it's like a little pin, and it keeps poking you on the head every
Yeah,
time you want to
trust.
change. It's like,
Yeah.
yo, nah, you can't do this, you can't do that. um and what, you know, I was just thinking, in order, you know, how do you get out of social anxiety? You know, how do you get rid of social anxiety?
I think a good way for it, like why we were fortunate, is we had pretty good mates around us. I think that is a
Yeah,
big step to it. Like if I didn't have you or like whoever else we were chilling with, you know who you are, like I probably wouldn't have been that confident because I feel like my confidence also bounced off how you were with me or how anyone else was with me. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it started off with as soon as I started feeling comfortable with like you guys, it was like you kind of feel better in yourself because it's like I found my people. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
So I feel like having a good sort of support system around you and having people you trust around you will make you feel okay in yourself and make you
yeah.
feel less like you have to impress others
Others.
because like you know you have the people you need. And I feel
Yeah,
like if you still are obviously going through social anxiety, like maybe if you do neglect to acknowledge the people around you, maybe like doing that might
yeah.
help. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe
Because
looking at
I
it
think
from that. Yeah.
that angle could help. Because I think for me, like I've never really thought about it, but I feel like that was also a big part of it.
100%, man. And you know, I just want to add something on top of all of that. Um, for me as well, I felt like the way I got out of my social anxiety. So it, for me, it got worse before it got better. So it went to a point where, like, now I wouldn't, you know, I used to be an extrovert. I used to love going
Yeah,
out. I
yeah,
used to
yeah,
love getting drunk and doing this and that. Now I'm a very strong introvert. So, you know, I don't like social situations, and that doesn't arise from anxiety anymore like it used to. Now
yeah,
it's because I have validation within myself, and I know that I just don't, it's, you know, I don't like that environment.
yeah.
It's not that
You
I'm
just
scared of it. It's just I don't want to be
exactly.
there. You know what I mean? I just don't want to
Exactly.
be.
Sometimes you just change in how you feel. Like, not even saying you grow up, but you just like people, everything changes. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? The world's changed and it keeps spinning, and that's also going to change. Like,
exactly.
that's like I said at the start, some days it might be worse than others, and some situations it's going to be worse. Like, literally, one day you could literally go into class and feel
Yeah.
calm, and the next day you might see like the tiniest stain on your jeans and be terrified to walk in
Terrified.
because you think someone might notice. Like, it can be that simple. So
Yeah.
I guess also acknowledging that every day is going to be a change and not every day is going to be as bad as the other will help, because not every day will be as bad as the day before. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, everything's changing constantly. So,
Exactly.
and we are what we are because of the experiences that we have come across and
Done.
what we have done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're a product of your environment, innit?
Exactly. And I just feel like the bigger, the you know, the more you hide away from the fact, when you feel a certain way, when you have anxiety, it, how you
Yeah.
feel, because you feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it
Because
in
it's
your chest.
intense.
Yeah, you can feel it in your body. It's a chemical reaction, so
Yeah.
you feel a different way. um you know I think running away from that feeling for me was the first problem,
Oh,
if I
it
was to
makes
break
it
it down.
worse. It
Yeah,
makes it so much
the
worse.
more I ran away, my way of
But
running away was hiding from it, in terms of suppressing
exactly.
it. So like, you do drugs, or you
Exactly.
smoke, or you drink. um but yeah, you were saying.
Yeah. Because the thing is, once you start running away from it, it is like you're literally telling your body that what it's feeling is right.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
As soon as you start running away from it, your body's like, okay, next time I'm in this situation, I'll do this again because I shouldn't be here.
Be here.
When sometimes it might not be nice, but you have to stick it out.
Yeah, exactly, man. And um that is, obviously that is the hardest part, like, for
Exactly.
someone who suffers, because you don't want to feel that way. Like, you don't
Exactly.
want to feel that way. You want to be able to go and um meet new people like your other mate does. You want to be
Exactly.
able to go out and not feel scared, and all of that shit. And you know what I would, oh, my phone's just gone off, sorry about
That's
that.
all right.
But what I would say is, like, if you don't need to attend, like, especially at college and stuff, you don't need to, because I felt like I needed to be in every social situation. Like, I needed
Oh
to be
yeah.
in every party that was going on,
Yeah, yeah.
every
If you
social
weren't
gathering.
in the party, you're not cool. Do you know what I
Cool. Yeah,
mean?
you're missing out. You're not cool. You've got, the next day your mates are going to talk about it. So you've got nothing to say. You don't need to fucking do that. You don't need to go out every
Exactly.
night. You can sit at home and read a book if you want to. And
Exactly.
that's okay. You can't do everything. You can't be running after everyone all the
Others.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You can't please everyone all the time, and you never are. Do you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
Because if you
100%.
try and do that, the last person you're going to please is yourself.
Yourself.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%, mate. And
Like,
yeah, that is that
like
is
I said, I think sometimes it does just take maturing to understand that.
yeah. Again, experience. Just
Exactly,
experiencing it.
experiencing
And
it. But even saying that before, like we were talking about, like me leaving college so much better.
yeah,
Like going back to every day is different. I literally went to uni, and then I feel like every person in uni, like you as well, can relate. Mate, your first what is it? Not lecture, bloody. What's the word? Now my brain's fuddled.
but like the intro thing.
No, no, no. You know when you have your lectures and then you have the little classes. What are they called? I'm being
Oh,
stupid.
icebreakers.
No, 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 no. Not icebreaker. No, you have a lecture and then you have what's the when you're in a little class.
Lesson.
Yeah, it's like a lesson, but it has a name.
Oh,
Oh, I'm being
seminar.
so
Nah, seminar's
stupid.
fat.
Seminar, yeah,
Oh,
seminar,
seminar.
seminar,
Yeah,
seminar.
yeah.
That's it. You know when you go to your first seminar, I feel
Hmm.
like everyone knows that you are shit scared.
Oh
You're
yes.
bricking it. Like
Oh
I
yes.
literally left college thinking I was the man, went
Mm.
into uni thinking I was the man. The morning of my first seminar, I'm bricking it. I'm like, oh, can I be asked to go? Do I really want to go? It
Yeah,
wasn't that I didn't want to go to the seminar. I was bricking it and meeting new people. And I think it's just natural. I feel like that's just
yeah.
a, like everyone feels it, but no one acknowledges that everyone feels it.
Builds it. It's like, yo, it's like literally saying to yourself, like, for me, it was just saying to myself, yo, yeah, you know, it's gonna, you know, it is scary to meet new people
Yeah,
because you don't know like what they're about, you know, if they'll like you or not. But you got to do it. You got to fucking do it.
exactly.
You got to
You
get
just got
up
to
and
do
you
it.
got
It
to
makes you a
go.
better person for it.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like you were saying in about college as well. Like,
Mm.
if you don't do that, like let's say like you didn't enjoy college or whatever, or you didn't enjoy, like say you left that law class because you didn't
Yeah.
enjoy it,
Yeah.
but then the next day when I met you in RS when we became mates,
Mm.
imagine you didn't walk into that lesson, or imagine you
Oh,
came
mate.
in late because you didn't want to go in and you sat somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might miss an opportunity to meet someone or to do something for yourself. And I feel like you got to just kind of not suck it up, like you kind of just have to give yourself the support, because
Mm.
sometimes like you just have to push yourself into being in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like even when I was in college, like, well, not in college, in uni, like there was like literally like every seminar I went to, like at the beginning I literally didn't want to go, but you kind of just, you just have to
Have
do
to.
it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have to just get through it. And I feel like that's the hardest part is
Yeah.
is it's not the seminar itself, it's not meeting people itself, it's always the anticipation.
Yeah.
That's where the anxiety sits, because as soon as you're in the situation, your
It's-
adrenaline kicks
Yeah.
in and you're just focused on
Yeah.
being in the lesson or meeting new people. And
Yeah.
like you, as your personality comes out and you're bound to make friends and you're bound to
Yeah.
be fine. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly. It's always, it's when you think about what's going to happen. When you're like, oh, like, you know, I wonder what it's gonna be like, or you know, when you have social anxiety, when you know you have to go in a social situation like a seminar, the first thing you say to yourself, or I would say to myself, is, "Oh shit, how am I gonna feel?" And that was
Yeah,
it. That
literally.
would kick it off. And then what my brain would automatically go to past experiences where
Oh yeah,
I had felt, you know, where I had been in a similar situation, and then I would tell myself, "Oh shit, man, what if that happens again? What if, you know, what if, like, you know,
Exa-
what if my hands start shaking?" Because going back
exactly.
to the law class, the reason I
Yeah,
left is because of social anxiety. You
yeah.
know, you remember I used to sit at the front.
Front, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mate, I
Was it so you
couldn't.
couldn't see anyone?
Yeah, I couldn't do it, mate. I couldn't. My
Yeah.
hands shit. Like, as soon as I
To
walked
be
into that room,
fair, I used to notice you do where you shake your leg, innit?
yeah,
Because I do
I
that
sh-
as well. I
yeah,
always shake my leg when
that's
I'm
it.
like, I don't want to be there. You see me shake my
Yeah,
leg or like
that's it.
tapping the table or
Tapping
something.
the
Do you know what I
table.
mean?
Yeah, just playing with your fingers, and
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you have
yeah.
social anxiety, or you don't, you know how what it's like. But that was
Exactly.
it.
Or anxiety in general. Like,
Yeah,
because
all
I feel
anxiety. Yeah,
like we talk about social anxiety, but I feel like it just runs across to any anxiety in
anything.
any situation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I correct myself. You're right. All anxiety, like,
Yeah.
and heartbeats. When the heartbeat goes up, then you start sweating, and that was me
Mate,
in that law lesson.
it's all about the physicals, mate. Like the mentals you can deal with, but as soon as that physical starts,
Bam,
that's when the mentals
out.
go haywire.
That's it, out. Because then your body is reacting to how you're
Yeah.
feeling,
So
and you're like, yo, shit. People can actually see how I'm feeling now. It's not just in my
exactly.
head. Like,
So you're just like, I
yeah,
do not want to be here. I
exactly.
do not want that.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's like you were saying, like when you think back to past experiences and stuff, it's literally your body's, it's not even a bad thing because it's your body's way of protecting you.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't like that situation, so you shouldn't go back into that
Go back.
situation. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So you should never see it as I have a problem or it's a bad thing, because it's not.
Yeah. It's not. And that's the biggest thing. It's not a bad thing. If you've been through shit and if you feel a certain way, the way I escaped all of that was to sit down and ask myself, what is bad about it? What is bad about the
Yeah,
world?
exactly.
Why is this so bad? Why is this so hard for me? And I just want to really quickly go back to when you said that you need people around you, you need that support system
Yeah,
around you. And I feel when it comes to wanting to do something new as well, and when you have that fear of what people will think, I think
yeah,
this is for that one specific person here that I
yeah.
mentioned earlier. If
Shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to you. If I think the best thing you can do, like Gurpage says, is do it for the people you love and the people who love you.
Exactly. And I think those people will also support you.
because they
Yeah.
they are like they're your fixed deposit. You know what I mean? They're like,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly. They're
they
your
will love you.
backbone. You ain't.
Yeah, they will love you
You're
no matter
like
what.
exactly.
Yeah,
They're your right leg. They're your
yeah,
right hand. You ain't. You can't walk without them. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And you know, if you do things for them, you slowly just start realizing that it doesn't matter what other people think.
Exactly.
Like, you know, and then other people will like your work anyway. But it's just about getting kick started and being able to get out and do whatever it is that you've wanted to do but you haven't done because you're scared, especially in the Asian society. You know,
Oh, of course, mate. We know
what's
all
uncle
that.
gonna think, what's auntie gonna think, you know?
Literally, the thing is with that as well. Just to touch on that, because I know a few of you will be listening who can relate to this.
Oh yes.
Is that like I feel like your parents, most of the time, not for everyone, most of the time, don't actually really care what you do as long as you enjoy it. It's more with the Asian community is what other people
People.
around your family, like your cousins or family friends, will think. Because I
Yeah.
think your parents are like, oh, that you could do that, but like auntie's not gonna, you know, she's gonna say
Aunties.
something
Yeah.
to this person, and this person's gonna
Yeah.
tell that person, and then
Yeah.
it's like family name. It's not individuals. It's
Yeah.
always about like a whole collective.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what is learning. Because I mean,
Yeah.
our parents, I feel like my parents have learned as I've grown up that
Yeah.
you know to be a bit more like lenient and
Yeah.
calm with me being me and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. And the more you grow, you know, like same with my parents as well, very strict at the start, and then slowly just, you know, given freedom. And I think that's what the best thing is. But again, at this, you know, when you belong to an Asian society, I think that can enhance your anxiety.
Yeah, yeah,
Things
for
like that,
sure,
when your
for
parents, like when
sure.
you know that your
I feel like
parents
it's
will,
ingrained in you,
yeah,
isn't it? When you're growing up,
yeah,
if you're, especially if like, I don't know about any other cultures, but I feel like it does happen in other cultures. It could
yeah,
happen in any culture, to be honest. But I feel like, depending on your family, like, I feel like sometimes it will be ingrained in you where, like, you're growing up and they'll be like, don't act like this when we see this person,
yeah,
and you better not do that when you see that person. But when you
yeah,
do that at home, it's calm. Do
it's
you know what
calm.
I mean? It's
Exactly.
like you could go see an auntie and like you could make like a funny joke that your whole family laughed about when you're at home. But then when you go see that auntie, your mum's like, you better not make any jokes when you go around their
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
It's like it confuses the hell
yeah,
out of you. You're like, what
exactly.
am I supposed to do or feel? And that in
Yeah,
itself will kickstart you feeling
anxious. Yeah,
anxious in a social situation.
100%. Because that's what you later, you know, that's what we were doing in college. What I was doing in college as well. I was
Hmm.
acting different around different people because I knew,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I still do that. I'm not even gonna
yeah,
lie. I still
yeah,
do that.
yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously with like with your parents you do, but in terms of when I was
Yeah.
um meeting new people, I was, you know, I was like, I wasn't myself. I was always running away, and I was like, yo,
You
how can I impress this person? I need to act like this, I need
you
to act like
suppress
that.
yourself, don't you?
Yeah,
And you act the way they act. But
yeah,
what you don't see is that person's also doing the same. So
same.
you're both acting cool and you
Yeah,
both think that's how you should act, but
yeah,
it's not.
it's not.
Because the thing is, like, we probably did that to each other. I definitely did that when I first saw you,
100%. Me
you
too, mate. Me too
and
with
but
my
like
leather
when
jacket.
you
Yeah.
exactly with your leather jacket, mate. See, that was your statement piece. Let me say that was your statement piece
Trust
back
me,
then.
man
That was
wanted
a
to be
sick
Shah Rukh
jacket, you
Khan.
know.
Trust.
Trust, don't we all though? Don't we
Yeah,
all?
exactly, man. That boy. But yeah, go on. You were
But
saying.
now I just feel like wait, what were you talking about? I just think of Shah Rukh Khan now.
No, same. I completely forgot, man. I wish one of
Nah,
our
with
listeners could
oh
help
no,
us out.
yeah. When we were talking about like walking into class and stuff,
Mm,
like when we first met each other and we'd like everyone wants to be cool and like you want to act like each other in it. So you both
yeah,
just act in a certain way. But it's like now that we are close mates, we're literally like if any like I feel like everyone can relate when you're with like a really close friend. Like if anyone else saw you in just you two together, you'd probably feel like you'd be judged. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And that's what it
100%.
is like when you first meet someone, you both just act cool when you
Cool.
really don't need to, because
Yeah,
at the end of the day, if you're going to connect as people, you're going to connect.
connect.
Like it might just take some time, but like you do.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? You
and
just
I
have to be
was
confident in yourself.
exactly, and I also feel like the reason I used to act like that because I used to do exactly what you're saying. You know,
Yeah.
like act cool so that other
Yeah.
people
Same.
like me. the reason I used to do it is because everyone I have ever met in my life has done the same thing.
Oh
So
yes,
it's like
exactly.
it's the norm.
Exactly.
It's normal, bro.
It is
Like,
the norm, but it's not
yeah,
spoken about. No
yeah,
one ever talks about that. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever spoken about it.
yeah,
But like, it's an like I know I do it, and you know you do it. So why isn't everyone just like? Because the thing is, when you're in college or in school, have you
yeah.
noticed the most, I say popular in brackets or in
Mm,
commas, the most popular person? Because obviously that's a thing when you're in school and it makes no sense. But
yeah,
they're the person who's just them.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
The
it.
person with the most who you see and who you think is cool, they're the cool one because they're just being them.
Yeah,
And you want to be like that, but you're not
yeah.
doing
But
that
you're
because
not.
you're trying to act like them. And that's
Yeah,
where the problem is.
yeah.
If you were just you, you'd have enough friends around you and you wouldn't care. Do you know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
And I think that just takes some time to learn. And it's also good for us to talk about it because it shows that like everyone feels like that at some
Yeah,
point, or everyone might feel like that. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. And anxiety is so hard and it's so different, like we said, for each, everyone. It's so, you could be
Exactly.
feeling, yeah, actually, let me, before I talk about that, let me just say that I would always hide. I could be, mate, like I could be in, I could be in a shit mood or feel very anxious, but for some reason I could always put a mask on. Now
Yeah.
that was my talent. You know what I mean? That was my talent. I don't know how
Same.
I did it, but no matter if I'm like inside, like I'd, it'd be, it's painful, like, anxiety, you can feel it in your body, so it's painful. But when
Exactly.
someone walks up to you, there it is, mate. You just smile, and again,
Exactly. You're just like,
yeah,
literally, it's like, what are you saying? Are you okay? What are you doing, mate?
yeah,
Hello? You all right? I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm all right. Yeah, I'm good. No, you're not. Like you just feel like you're not, but everyone just went, yeah, I'm all
yeah,
right, mate.
yeah,
What happens if I say you're all right and you were like, actually, nah, I'm not. Nothing. Like that's why the whole reason I asked. Nothing's
yeah,
gonna happen. I'm asking you because I want to know. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. And I think this goes back to how we introduce ourselves to people again. How we
Mm,
want to be cool and we want to act in a
yeah.
certain way. And
I mean,
that's normal because everyone's doing it.
exactly.
But in doing that, I felt like I built up this fake persona of myself.
Yeah.
um I was this different person because I wanted to be cool. But then when that individual kind of would come up to me, I would have to act in that way, otherwise
Yeah.
they would be like, yo, like
Literally.
that's not you, like you don't act like that.
Exactly. I like a waste man. That's not me.
That's
Mate,
not
Skepta
me.
said it himself, mate. It's literally like you idolize people like that, but even he's saying it in his tunes that everyone's banged and want. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
exactly,
that's
man.
like you're not alone. No one's
Yeah,
alone in this. Like
yeah,
if someone like that can literally make a song out of it, like do you
yeah,
know what I mean? It is a
100%.
problem.
Yeah,
Like it's like, have you ever? Do you know what? You'll probably relate, yeah. But I feel like, have you ever been in that situation where you act like one way? Say you've acted like one way with this person, but you
yeah.
act like different with your mates, and then you see both those people at the same time,
Same
and you just
time.
don't know how to act.
Oh my
That's when
days.
you realize, like, well, what the hell am I actually doing?
Trust me, because
Because this person's trying to act all funny and jokes, but you want to act cool because this person's here. So it's like,
yeah,
how do I act? Because one
yeah,
person's gonna feel like you're different.
yeah. Do you know what my excuse was when I was in
What?
situations like that? I'm not feeling well, bro. Like I got a headache, bro. So like, you're just down. I
Yeah,
used to literally
yeah,
just be like, yo,
yeah.
I'm not feeling
Trust.
well.
I say that all the time. Yeah, I'm hungry, mate. I'm just a bit
Yeah.
tired, mate. Didn't
You
sleep,
know?
mate. I had full 9 hours sleep last night. I ain't tired at all, mate. But you just
Yeah.
gotta say it, innit?
Exactly. Exactly, mate. And that's yeah. And the more we talk about it, the more I'm realizing the shit I used to do back in the day, which was
Yeah,
so
same. Like you
bad for
just
me.
don't see it
Yeah.
because it kind of becomes you. You become so
Yeah.
used to it. It's just the way you are, and you
Yeah.
kind of become okay
Yeah.
about it. You don't see it as a problem. Like I was saying before, like you don't want that stigma, so you never see it as a problem. You just like, that's me. Like
Yeah.
I just do that. When really you don't want to feel like that, and you should, and like you can change
Yeah.
that if you want to. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
But at the same time, it's okay to feel like that.
Oh,
Most
of course,
importantly,
of course, of
it's
course, of course.
completely okay if you feel that way, you know? And I wish
I
back in the
mean,
day I had someone who was telling me that.
literally.
Honestly,
I
if
mean,
there was
like,
one person who told me that, yo, yeah, I see you're feeling this way, you're feeling that way, but it's cool, like, do this, like, think about it this way, deal with it this way,
Trust.
I'd be a different person, like, a long time ago. Like, obviously, like, we're
Exactly.
all at a different place now, but
Yeah,
there
yeah.
could have been years of my life which I would have not wasted
With
smoking
overthinking
and
and like,
overthinking and
yeah,
harming myself.
yeah,
Not
exactly.
not like, physically, I mean, like, in terms of smoking and drugs.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, we just don't have that person as well, because
exactly.
it's hard to talk about it,
It's
it's
hard.
happening in your
It
head.
is hard, especially when you're younger. It
Yeah,
it is hard,
yeah,
like because you, I guess you don't even know. You're still finding yourself.
yeah,
Excuse me, but yeah, you're still finding yourself. Like you don't really know who you are yet. You're still like meeting new people, like doing different hobbies, wearing different
mm,
clothes. Like so, I guess it's hard to speak about something so internal when you're
yeah.
still trying to find out who you are
Who you are,
anyway. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, and again,
But
going back
like you
to the
said, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, go on.
Now I was just gonna say, going back to the Asian community again, in terms of our
Yeah,
parents. Um, again, it was, I don't know if you ever did try to talk to your parents about how you felt, but every time I tried to talk to my parents about how I felt, bro, the answer was, you shouldn't be feeling that way.
yeah. Or
Um,
not even that directly. It was just like you'll be fine, or go do something, or like, do you know
yeah,
what I mean? It was shrugged off. It was always
shrugged off.
shrugged off.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah,
like talking about it.
yeah. But the way they did it made me feel like I shouldn't be feeling
Yeah,
that way. It
exactly.
made me feel
But
like, yeah,
I
I was a
think that's
normal.
also how they're brought up as well. So they don't mean it
100%.
in a bad
Yeah,
way, because obviously when you're brought up, like their parents are from India or
yeah.
Nepal or wherever, and they're brought up strict, and it's a completely different culture. Obviously, it's going to rub off when they bring us up.
100%. And that's what I was going to touch upon now. This is what we need. We need to talk about it, um
Exactly.
so that people, like, people can talk to each other about it, and know that it's calm. We don't need to sit and
Exactly.
talk about what bloody who Lucy got off with last night. We can be like, yo, how
Yeah,
were you
trust
feeling
me.
last
Been
night,
there,
bro?
done that,
You know what I
mate.
mean? Like,
Exactly, mate.
how were you feeling last night, brother? We know
Also,
how often do we ask that,
just to touch on how I'm feeling, I
Yeah.
just want to say rest in peace, George Floyd, because that whole situation has
Oh
made me
my.
feel genuinely sad for like the past couple of
Yeah,
days.
mate, honestly,
Like that stuff, like talking even about social anxiety, stuff like that. When situations like that happen,
yeah,
I feel anxious going out. Like,
yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? Like, what if that happens to me?
happens to me. Yeah,
Like I may not be black, but I'm a minority. I've had problems. We've both had problems
yeah,
with police in the past when we've been together.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
we've like we live in, like, thing is, like, in that as well, what people don't realize is stuff like that can bring anxiety as well. Like when you're getting picked on for being a certain race or getting racist comments and stuff, that stuff makes you anxious. Like
Yeah,
I've lived in places where when I was younger I got like thrown racist comments at by like old people or like
100%.
skinheads or someone, and that makes you just feel angry and like anxious inside. Like,
Yeah,
does everyone see me this way? Like when you're
yeah,
young, because it happened to me when I was young. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, 100%, mate. It's mate, I don't even know if I want to touch base on that, bro. Like, it's just such a, mate. It's all over social media, like it
I'm
should be,
glad it is.
like it
I'm
should
glad it
be.
is.
Yeah,
It should
like
be.
it should be.
And can I just say, today they arrested him. Thank God. The
Oh
guy.
yeah,
They all
yeah.
need to be
They
arrested,
all
but
need to
at
be
least they
arrested.
arrested
Yeah,
someone.
yeah. At
Someone
least they're
needs,
doing it.
like, not someone needs to pay. He needs to pay.
Yeah,
You killed a man in
bro. I don't
cold
like.
blood.
Mate, I was watching the video, and at one point, the man, like, when you put, let's say, you imagine you've got like, what's that squishy thing that you have, like, like, you make like sculptures when you're little, like Play-Doh.
Oh,
Yeah,
Play-Doh,
yeah.
Play-Doh, Play-Doh.
Imagine you
Yeah.
got Play-Doh on, like, you've put some Play-Doh on the floor, and you try to
You put your
stamp on
knee
it with
on
your
it.
heel. Yeah,
Exactly.
you know how you would, to put more pressure into it, you know how you would rearrange your body in a certain way, um
Go on.
so that there's more pressure, so you do more damage to it.
Go on.
Bro, in that video, there's a bit when that officer obviously is kneeling on his neck, and he rearrange. If you watch it again, you've probably clocked
Yeah,
it
yeah,
already.
yeah.
He
I've
rearranges
noticed that
himself, and he holds onto the
thing so he
vehicle
can get a firmer
farmer
grip.
grip.
Yeah,
Oh my
mate,
days,
mate. And did you not see the smug look on his face? He looked
mate.
smug. He did not care at
Yeah,
all. Like my heart is when he was like exclaiming all the stuff about like I can't breathe, like my heart was literally like dropping, and you're on his neck not doing anything at
anything,
all. Like,
mate.
what type of person are you to do that?
Yeah,
And it's not a
exactly.
coincidence that it's a black person. That is a
Oh,
problem.
mate, 100%. It's not 100%. It's not, mate. It's the police. You just don't need to
And
do
do you know
that, bro.
what's
He's
even
unarmed.
worse?
He doesn't have anything
Exactly,
to hurt anyone.
exactly. It was
If
over a fake note as well.
yeah,
A
oh
fake
my
note. What
day.
you honestly, it
Imagine,
makes no sense, man. I'm
imagine,
getting worked up even talking about it.
yo, imagine
Do
the
you know what I
shit that
mean?
we've been through in the UK, yeah, which is and the times we have had police like confront us, how
Yeah,
jokey the whole situations have been.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, it's just even though the things that we were doing were like
weren't that bad.
yeah, but it was just like the police that I have been in contact with, I've literally shrugged everything off. They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
They just laugh, have a laugh.
like, but I also think the problem in the UK shouldn't be like unacknowledged because
Oh,
like
of
if we
course,
had gun laws here, mate, there'd be the
of course,
exact same problem. Do you know
of
what I
course, man.
mean?
Like if you live in London, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly,
obviously I can't talk from someone like I can't talk from their
exactly.
perspective, but I've
But
seen.
it's even as simple as we live in Winchester. But have you ever walked down the high street and got a dirty look from someone, and you know it's because you're a different color to
Every
them
motherfucking day, mate.
every day, mate? And you know what's even worse?
What's
Have
worse?
you ever, mate? I used to walk back from Kings, and I'm like what 13, 14 years old, yeah, in my school
Yeah,
uniform. But in winter it gets dark at like 4:30, so it's
yeah,
dark in it.
yeah.
Why are you crossing the road? I'm a
Oh,
child. Have you ever people cross the road because they're scared of you? But I'm a
trust me,
child. But
trust me.
and I get offended because
Yeah,
it's like you wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't of color.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Trust me. I've been laughing
Because
recently
I've
because
seen it happen where I was walking, this
yeah,
woman crossed the road, and there was someone around the same age as me, but a white guy. I'm not saying that they're white, but like they were white, and she just walked past them. So why are
yeah.
you not walking past me? I'm
Trust
not
you.
gonna do anything to you. I'm a
Yeah,
school kid. Do you know
mate.
what I
It's like
mean?
it's worse when they I've had this one guy, old guy. Obviously, I don't know why it's always old people. This old guy, he crossed the road right to the other side. He walked off,
Yeah.
and then about 15 seconds, mate, after walking past me at the other side of the road, man crossed back, man crossed back into my side.
Yeah, no, that's the worst one, mate.
In it,
No, when they do that, I just give the dirtiest look because
yeah.
I'm like,
Trust
why
me.
are you doing
Yeah,
that,
I
mate?
just laugh, mate. I'm just like, yo, like,
Yeah, you
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 give me
have
the
to
whole
laugh it off,
pavement, like,
but inside you're like, why? Do you know what
yeah,
I
hundred
mean?
percent.
It
It's like,
it's so stupid.
but now, mate, I'm laughing now because
Exactly.
it's normal now because I walk on
Yeah,
the road now, people are crossing.
that's the problem right there. It's so normal. Why
Yeah,
is that normal?
exactly. Um, but bro, what's happening in America, fucked up, man.
I know.
Yeah,
But like I said,
sad.
even situations like that will bring on your anxiety in any
Exactly,
situation.
hundred
Like
percent.
it
Just
does for me. Like it could happen to anyone, and that's what makes it scary.
yeah,
Like that
that
guy
literally,
has a family. He went out. He went to the shop.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? He expected to go back home with the stuff from the shop,
yeah, yeah,
and he's
and
getting done for what? Do you know what I mean?
to think
It's
that, yeah,
unfair.
and to think that you could be murdered because of the color of your skin,
Exactly.
and you know for mate, I don't even, mate, honestly, this shit makes me feel, like I said, it makes me feel anxious. So
Exactly. It
it's,
does make me feel
yeah,
anxious too. It's just saddening. It
yeah,
is.
it's, yeah, so I don't know, yeah, they're not, it's not something I like talking about,
Yeah, no, neither.
but it's fucked up, and I'm glad that they've arrested that guy because that needs to be
God,
done. I
yeah.
hope everyone is arrested though, mate. They're all responsible.
Of
They're all
course,
fucking
mate.
responsible.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't only him holding it down. There's another guy. There's other officers watching. Like,
watching
if you
me.
can watch that and not do anything, like,
Yeah,
say if I was a police officer, yeah, and I saw some guy do that, I
yeah,
would have thrown him off him. And
yeah,
why are you not letting him breathe? Like,
yeah.
why?
Why
He's
exactly?
literally screaming to you that he
Yeah,
can't, that he's in pain. You can literally hear it in his voice that he's not just saying it because he wants to run away. He's
yeah,
saying it because he can't breathe. He's in
yeah.
pain. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? So why the other officers couldn't just like take him off and and stop it, like you're as bad as the guy who did it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you're all responsible. Like,
Exactly.
it's fucked up, mate. The way he was groaning, and oh, mate, I can't even think about it. It's fucking saddening. But yeah,
But yeah,
social
no, it
anxiety,
just
things like
does.
that.
It
Yeah.
just, yeah, it does make you anxious, man. Like when you think about it and when you talk about it, a lot of things in this world just do provoke it, and that's why it shouldn't be coined as such a bad thing. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you have a lot of things to be anxious about. Like you have a lot of things to be happy about, and that's why like happiness is always such a thing. Like I want to be happy and I need to be happy,
Mm.
but like you should like, and when you are happy, it's such a normal feeling, like you're
Mm.
okay with it. But so is anxiety. I know it doesn't feel nice inside, but it's a normal feeling as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Just because it doesn't feel good doesn't mean that it's like bad. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah. And I remember, like, when I first recognized that I was anxious and I had anxiety, that was like that was probably one of the best moments of my life, mate, because I felt like a burden had like been lifted.
Yeah,
Like, it was like I've accepted that I've got this shit. And as soon
you
as
know
I
how to deal with it or start dealing with it then.
exactly, and as soon as that, as soon as you say to yourself, like, for example, as soon as you say to yourself, like, what, yes, I'm anxious to do this thing or start something, start this new thing because I'm scared about what people are gonna say, but fuck it, you know, fuck it,
Exactly. You just
fuck it. Let me just do it. Let me just do it. And the second you
exactly.
say that, bro, like, the burden's gone, and nothing. You just feel like you've never felt before. And obviously, it always needs to be backed up. You can't. It's like if I said to myself, "Oh yeah, like, it's calm. I've got anxiety," but I did nothing about it. I did nothing to
Yeah.
change my ways. I would still be in the same place I was 2 years ago.
Exactly. You do, like at some point, like you said, you do have to come, not
Yeah,
even come to terms with it. You just need to recognize that it's happening,
happening.
so you can deal with it. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Or find coping. Like you don't just have to deal with it. You can find ways to cope with it because it's not always going to be there. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
And there is always someone you can talk to about it.
Of
Um,
course, of
and if you
course.
can't talk to anyone about it, come on Chakra Vision and talk to us about it. Hop on a podcast, and
Exactly.
we don't. Yeah,
So, I mean, like we've both had like, and like probably everyone listening personally been through this stuff.
yeah,
So like obviously come on, and you're free to say whatever you want to say
whatever.
because that's why
Exactly.
we're here.
That is it. That is it. You just need. Yeah, it's hard. Of course, it's so
It
easy for
is.
us to sit here and say you need to talk about it. And I know that
Oh,
if
of
if you've
course.
got social anxiety or any kind of anxiety, I know it's easier said than done. I'm not. I've been there.
I mean,
I know
like
how
I'll
it
probably
is.
touch on it in a different podcast, but like you know that obviously I had problems with panic as well.
Of
Like
course,
it's
man.
a lot of things that like connect to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you think that it's not going to happen to you, but here I was not even being able to walk to like the shop for like ages.
yeah. I
Do you know
mean,
what
bro. Mate. That's a podcast on its own. I reckon
I mean?
that's a
Exactly,
podcast on its own.
exactly, exactly.
That's something.
But so
Yeah.
like it's a hard thing that people don't want to talk about, but that's why we're here and we're trying to
Raise
say
awareness.
it. So exactly, so you don't feel alone, I guess,
Yeah.
or you can come to us. Like you can always send us a DM, or like if you ever want to talk about this stuff as well, like I literally would. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. And
Like
I'm
even if you don't feel comfortable coming on, just send us a
yeah.
DM and you can have a private conversation. Do you know what I mean? That's why
Exactly.
we're here.
Exactly. Exactly. That's it. It's just about talking. It's about getting started. And it's okay to feel shit. I have been there. I have cried. There have been, yeah,
Oh, of
fuck him.
course.
I'm a man. And yeah,
Mm,
like for a boy to cry, for a man to cry, it's not good. Fuck all of that, mate. If I feel a certain way, I will cry. I cry about it. It's my way of getting shit out. So it's okay to cry. It's okay to talk to whoever you need to talk to about it. Um,
exactly.
it's just I don't know. I think we've said enough about it. It's just
Exactly.
it's about
It
just
is
feeling it.
just about like
It's about
thing is it's so easy for us to say like have a
yeah,
support system and do this, come on, do that. I like we know ourselves because the thing is it's taken both of us a lot to even be on here and
yeah,
talk about it. So we know how hard it is.
yeah,
But I guess like even when you do feel stuff like anxiety and stuff, I guess you just feel in a box. You feel alone, don't you?
Yes.
You just like
Yes.
literally feel like you feel, why me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's it.
But like we just kind of want you to know that you're not alone.
Yeah. And we've both been through it.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's a shit place to be. It's a very shit place to be, you know. And it is mentally draining. It makes you feel left out. It makes you feel like
Oh, of course.
there's
The amount
something
of
wrong with you.
fatigue.
Yeah. Oh, bro,
Exactly.
the amount of fatigue, man.
The
It's
amount
like,
of tired. You're so tired, but then you can't sleep as well. What,
yeah,
like, do you
yeah,
know what I mean? It does. You don't realize how physically draining it is as well as mentally,
yeah. I
because
think it's
that
the
mental strain
physical,
can take a toll on your body.
yeah. And it's when it starts getting physical that it just, bro, you just feel like you're stuck, you know. You're just like, yo, like it's the same shit every day, like sitting at home watching telly just so you don't think about whatever it is that you're thinking about.
Exactly. I
Um,
also think saying that though, I guess another way of just anxiety in general is distraction. And
Distractions. Yeah,
and what I found as well is acceptance.
yeah,
I didn't start like we said before, like you don't really start acknowledging it or feeling better about it until you accept it. And even for me, like when it got worse, until I accepted it, I didn't start getting better, because I
mm,
always was just trying to cope with it, or just trying to like, because like one of the things they teach you if you do like counseling or stuff like that is distraction.
yeah,
It's literally, it's always education and distraction. So they'll teach you panic because you do this sort of stuff, and you might feel like this in this situation because your body works in this way. And then they'll be like, so when you feel like that, do something to distract yourself. But it's not that simple, because obviously
yeah,
everyone does it differently. So I just feel like, obviously, acceptance was a big thing. It is about distraction, and that really does help, because taking your mind off it is one of the best ways of not feeling anxious.
yeah,
But acceptance is the way. And for me, it didn't happen straight away. It was literally, I felt like it for like, when it got really bad, for like what, like half a year. And then one day I was like, I've had enough, and I was just like, it's happening and it's real, and I've got to deal with it. And that's when, do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
sometimes it might just be one day you will just be like,
yeah,
that's it. You know what I mean? And you're dealing with it.
yeah,
But so that's why, like, don't put pressure on yourself if you're not coping well, because it might just take that one day for you to be like, I accept it. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
100%. Take your time with it. There is no rush either. Yeah, you're right. You know, we haven't said that. Yeah, take your time
Yeah,
with it. There is no
of
rush.
course.
It's a, you know, it's a slow process, and it needs a lot of self love. You know,
It does.
you gotta find that
I
within
think
yourself.
I think that's what we also forget. Like when you try to like like you're always taught to go to other people, which is obviously amazing. I 100% say that as well. Obviously, have your
Yeah.
support system, go to your friends, your family, whoever it
Mm.
might be. But I think what they neglect to teach you or tell you is yourself. You never get taught to love yourself, or
Yeah.
just talk to yourself, or
Yeah.
like maybe like sit there and think, why am I feeling like this? And because you kind of, you ignore that, don't you? Or you
Yeah.
just get, you feel like angry or sad about you're feeling this way, but you never really kind of think about
Think
why you're
about it.
feeling like it.
Yeah.
So I think that
That's
is
it.
also a good way of maybe actually having a conversation with yourself and being like, what is actually going on? What's
Yeah.
triggered this? What
Yeah.
is triggering this? And where you want to go? Because I think that will help as much as going to other people.
Other people, 100%. Because that, you know, that was going to other people didn't help for me. Like for me,
Yeah,
it
same.
was questioning myself, and you know, it was meditating. Meditation, okay, was the key for me.
Oh, that helps me a lot
Sitting
too.
down for 20 minutes and just, bro, like not even trying to not think about anything, just thinking about things and acknowledging that I'm thinking about things. That was the biggest shift of energy into my life. That was my chakra vision. Like, you know, that's why this whole
Trust.
thing
That's
is
where
here.
it comes
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Um,
I
and
mean, literally, like saying that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but even just saying that,
yeah,
like it got to a point where it was even so bad for me when I started doing meditation. I couldn't do it
yeah,
because it was too much. Even that was too much. Do you know what I mean? So it can get that bad, but it is about pushing through. Do you know what I
pushing
mean?
through
Because in
100%.
the end, it helps a lot. It does help a lot. It's that
Yeah,
time for yourself that you will never get anywhere else.
exactly. It's, you know, in meditation, you learn to if you want to learn how to love yourself, meditate,
Yeah,
and show yourself that you care about what you're, what you're thinking, about how you're thinking.
yeah,
And it's hard because people think, I think, again, we're going off topic, but in terms of
yeah.
meditation, when I first started meditating, people were telling me that I need to, the goal of it is to stop
Become
thinking.
enlightened, or yeah, stop
Yeah,
thinking.
stop
Yeah.
thinking. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yo, I might, I've got a monkey mind. I can't stop thinking. My brain is
Of
made to
course,
think.
mate. You know the monkey mind, mate.
That's it. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's what I was trying to do. I was like, okay, I need to stop thinking. That's the goal of meditation. And then, I got, there's some tutors in my life who've taught me really well in terms of how
Yeah,
to meditate. And they told me, it's nothing like that. It's about just sitting down and just thinking and knowing. It's about like being
it's
aware
exactly.
of
Yeah, it's about,
thinking.
because one of my favorite types of meditation is sound meditation,
Yeah,
where you literally, like, I'll put on YouTube like a bell ringing, and
yeah,
I'll just make my mind focus on the bell. That's not you stopping everything that's going on. It's just helping me find that focus and that calmness within myself.
yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean? Like, it doesn't have to be sit there and do it until you stop thinking. You
Yeah,
it like it's individual. It can be individual, and you don't, like, I think what helped me was as well is, like, say if you don't have people around you who do meditation, or you don't do it, or
mm,
don't know anyone who does it, like YouTube, you can search it and there's lots of different
yeah,
stuff that will help you, and did help me as well. So, like, if you are
exactly.
interested in that, I would 100% search it on YouTube,
Yeah,
and you'll definitely find something that you will get into.
yeah, 100%, man. And going back to taking that step to change something about yourself in terms of
Yeah,
anxiety. For me, that was learning, wanting to meditate and learning to meditate was the one, because it was the easiest thing to do, man. It didn't need someone else. All it needed was my room and me.
exactly.
That
You
was
just need
it.
an empty space
Yeah,
and you.
that's it. And that's why it was so, like, it was the best thing for me. Um,
Like, even if you live on a busy road, like when I watched this like a Buddhist monk
yeah,
do a talk about it, do a seminar about it, he was literally like, if you live on a busy road, literally open your window and focus on the noise of the
the noise
cars.
of the
And it
cars.
works. It
Yeah,
works because you'll be so focused and drowned into the sound of that,
yeah.
you'll leave everything
Everything
else.
else.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%. Another thing I've practiced is smell as well. So
Oh,
learning,
I've never tried that. Is that good?
that's really good because you just obviously, like, you focus on the cars on a busy road, you
Yeah, yeah,
focus on the smell, and obviously
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
constant because you keep smelling that. So it helps with the meditation.
That's a good. I might
Um,
try that.
yeah,
What
but
do you use, like candles
incense
or
sticks or
just
whatever.
incense? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, your mom probably has some at home, innit?
Oh,
Of
of course,
course.
always, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, when you praise in the morning, it's smelling everywhere.
To me, man, I got like
You
this
know
coconut
them.
flavored one. It's fucking like it's nice, man. Um, but yeah, I mean, there is so many things
Exactly.
that you can do.
There's a lot of tools out there. Like, people usually, like, obviously because our topic is social anxiety, like, or anxiety in general, because obviously it's a broad topic.
Yeah.
Um, like, even with stuff like meditation, it kind of gets coined into being religious, but it's really not.
Mm, mm,
Like I would highly recommend some, like, you just even giving it a go, because it's not religious. It's like, even if it is taught in, like, say Buddhism or Sikhism or wherever,
yeah.
Hinduism, it's just you, it what it teaches, and what those religions teach, whether it is religious or not, is just being calm within yourself. And I
Yeah.
think that is what we've been talking about for this whole thing, is
Yeah.
just being okay in yourself and being in a moment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. That's it.
So
100%, mate. It's spirituality.
exactly,
You don't need
I
to.
think that
Yeah.
spirituality gets neglected a lot.
100%. And you don't need to be religious to practice meditation, man. Like, it's got nothing to do with gods. Like, um, it's to do with yourself. And
Exactly.
like Gurpage said, you don't just doing it helps. Just, taking that step to do it really
Exactly. Or
does.
just anything, like
Just
anything
anything, man.
you like. Doesn't have to be meditation, but anything that gets you into that place. Like, could be as simple as going for a drive.
Drive.
Do you know what I mean? Or sitting in your garden for half an hour, or
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just doing
Yeah.
something you like can be your meditation
Meditation.
if it
Exactly.
makes you feel calm within yourself. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's it. I mean, the I was reading up this article on a monastery in Tibet, and they were
Yeah,
saying how meditation is like, like a lifestyle, and it's not, you don't need an empty room to meditate. You can
exactly.
if like you like when I'm, for example, like when I'm at work, I just concentrate on my breathing, and in
Yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah.
like, I'm just constantly meditating. So it's just like,
Exactly.
if you're, like, if you're eating food, it's about, like, not using
Focusing
your,
on your
yeah,
food.
focusing on the food,
Yeah.
and not like watching the telly, or you know um like divert, like keeping your attention to one place and not letting the
Yeah, just
monkey
keeping
mind.
attentive.
Yeah,
Like
that's it.
meditation isn't just like you said, not thinking. It's just being aware. Like
Aware.
even just being more aware in what you do in daily life
Yeah,
might have a big change on you. It's all about
100%.
trying it. Do you know
Trying
what
it.
I mean?
Because what I found is, instantly, as soon as you start doing that, as soon as you start living, and as soon as you start breathing, and as soon as you start, like, um putting your attention into what you are doing,
Yeah,
your breathing changes, and with that, you just automatically like, think less. Your mind becomes
yeah,
clear. Like my ideas come to me when I meditate. Like, I can't, if I'm not meditating, I can't get ideas. And that's
yeah.
my proof that,
That's just
you know I have more clarity.
yeah,
um
exactly. That's just your way
you know,
of doing it,
yeah,
and that is just it. It's just finding your own way of
way
doing
of dealing.
that. Like it is, like it could be anything that you like. Because I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's probably something for everyone that makes them feel calm and makes them feel just like in the moment and aware, whatever that might be. So maybe
yeah,
doing that thing more often will help.
yeah. And again, accepting that it's okay to feel how you're feeling. um
Yeah, of
and
course.
But yeah, I mean, I think that is most things covered.
Yeah, we've
um
rounded it up pretty
I
well
mean,
there.
yeah, I mean, we've, this was a deep one, and thank you to anyone who's listened
Yeah.
so far. This is, it's actually, I was aiming for around 45-50 minutes, but
45 minutes, but we've went
hour,
over that.
but
But I
it's not
mean,
bad.
with a topic like this, it
It has
happens.
to be. I mean, I think it just has
Exactly.
to be. We couldn't stop.
I mean, with podcasts in general, it's never really going to be short,
Yeah,
is it?
man. Like, literally, I've seen podcasts which are like 4 hours long, man. Like, you know what I'm
Mate,
saying?
Joe Rogan ones, mate. You
Yeah,
watch them, they're
yeah,
like
yeah,
three and a
yeah.
half hours, mate. Trust
Exactly.
me.
Um, and it's like, people who are listening, if if you are in a difficult place, and if you are suffering from anxiety, um from me, I just want to say, like, it's okay. It's okay to feel like that. um
Yeah, 100%
but
agree.
we've all been there, and just,
Exactly. And literally, I'm still there, but
yeah,
I'm
exactly,
still
mate. Still
getting
every
through
day,
my
man, you feel
pains.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like it's never gonna just be solved, but like it's a work in progress, and it's okay for you to know it is gonna be progress, and it might take as long as it takes.
yeah. It might be there till the day you die, but um if we can find coping mechanisms, then we
Exactly.
can learn how, like, how our minds work. And that's one thing we didn't get talking to in school. um
Yeah,
you know
100%.
we had history lessons, geography lessons, and all of that. PE, and, well, obviously all of that is
It's just a
important, but
system.
it's like, instead of that assembly, a half an hour meditation session, or learning how to meditate, or learning about my own brain, damn, that would have, God, I'd be a
It
different
helped a
person if I
lot.
learned. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
But it's easy
it's
to
easy.
put everyone in a system.
Exactly, 100%. It's easy.
It
It's
because
easy.
you're getting bred to do jobs to keep the world turning, aren't you? Really?
Exactly, exactly. You don't want people to escape. It's like the Matrix. You don't want them
Exactly.
thinking different.
Exactly.
That's what meditation allows you to do. It allows your mind to
Exactly.
be free, and that's dangerous for the system.
Because even when I first did it, to be fair, sometimes when you do suddenly go into like that trance of not knowing where you are, it can
Yeah,
feel scary. Because the first time I felt like that, it genuinely scared me. I was like, I literally just didn't know where I was for that second, and it was like, is
trust
that
me.
normal? And I literally went into the comments of the YouTube like video that I was following, because it was like a follow along meditation, and there was
Yeah,
so many comments of like, this is the first time I'm doing it, and like, is anyone else feeling like this? So it can like
Yeah.
sometimes that feeling can be scary, but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, 100%, man. Did you feel like you were detached from like your head, like your brain just
Yeah,
went,
it was almost like I was floating, sort of thing.
mate? I'm telling you, I felt that as well. I felt that, and
Yeah,
I,
it was.
I was sitting on a chair, mate, and I couldn't.
Yeah,
My bum felt like it just was, the chair didn't exist anymore. Um, and my head was just flowing. It probably sounds mad to anyone who hasn't tried it, but man,
yeah,
like that was one of the best experiences, and you can't hit that point every day.
exactly.
You
You
really do.
won't. You won't.
Yeah, you just won't. It's not possible. But when you do, you learn so much about yourself, because in that I learned that I am not the body and I'm not the mind,
Exactly.
bro, because I was separated. Like, if I'm not the body and I'm not
Exactly.
the mind, who the fuck am I? Like, because at
Like
that
I'm
point I
saying,
wasn't
it is
thinking. Yeah,
scary.
it's fucking scary. But that's, I think, man, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling.
For sure. But yeah,
Yeah, man, fucking hell. Thank you so much for coming on, man, and
that's
talking.
okay, man. Hopefully, I'll be on again regularly, and hopefully, it'll be some nicer topics than this as well.
Yeah, of course, man. We'll do all sorts of things, and
Exactly. But yeah, thanks you guys for listening as well.
yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, big shout out to you, Gurpage, for actually coming on and
Thanks.
sharing your experiences, because it takes a lot to talk about anxiety and
Oh yeah,
um
100%.
share it out, and actually, but in doing so, we might help someone else, and that's the goal.
Exactly, and that's the goal.
Yeah.
Exactly. You said it.
But yeah, again, thank you so much,
Yeah,
and thank you
and
so
my
much for
pleasure.
joining us. Yeah. And we
Of
will
course.
catch you. Me and Gerbs will catch you on the next podcast that we do together, and I will catch you on the next podcast I do with whoever it is.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
okay, all right.